Some of you may be asking, what does this mean about our homeschooling journey and how has it negatively impacted our homeschool year? Well, hey there, and welcome to Shine Bright Homeschool. It has been a while since I have uploaded, and I have a good reason for that. As you can see, things are a little bit different in the background. Before we get into my video today, I just want to give a reminder to y'all of my Etsy channel, Shine Bright Studies, where I sell digital downloads of biblical word studies. These are a great thing to use for kids that are about maybe 3rd through 6th or 7th grade. You can do as a group or you can do individually. You can download them and then print them out for as many copies as you need. These are a great way for kids to hop in the Word and help them understand what words in the Bible really mean. And you can learn along right with them and really get into it as a group or one-on-one. It's also a great resource for Bible studies for kids or Sunday school classes. So check it out online on my Etsy shop, and let's dive into today's video. So we've had some big changes for our family that, things were kind of slow for me posting on the channel. There's a few things that I wanted to post and I never got around to just because the room that I was recording in was in an upheaval. And so I wasn't able to kind of share what was going on, and I didn't want to share before we knew exactly what was going to happen. So we ended up moving to a neighboring state for a job that my husband got. Some of you may have watched a previous video that I posted with my friend Sarah. We talked about, the struggles of homeschooling and the positive things about homeschooling, and one of the struggles being, sometimes there's financial changes, sometimes there's life changes, and life happens while you're homeschooling. So my husband had been out of a job for almost a year, and we basically had to kind of tag team and do some part-time jobs here and there in between. And, we were provided for, we had everything we needed. Over the summer, we just prayed and waited. And then an opportunity came along that the Lord brought to us, and we were really not finding anything else as an option. My husband and I really felt led that he shouldn't take just any job, that God had a job for him. When that job came along, we had to take it, and it involved us moving. We're about 5 or 6 hours away from where we lived before, but we're in a different state, and so there's been a lot of changes in doing that. Some of you may be asking, what does this mean about our homeschooling journey and how has it negatively impacted our homeschool year with us doing 9th grade? Well, I have to say I wasn't fully prepared for the disruption that moving would bring. As some of you know, I've mentioned this on the channel before, in the state we were in, we were required to be a part of a homeschool association and basically just say, hey, we've done the hours that we were required to do, and these are the subjects we've done, and that type of thing. And so that accountability was there for the state we were in. And going into high school, I obviously had to make sure that I had all the requirements for credits. And so basically the homeschool association took care of that, guiding me through that. It seemed like a pretty good start to the year when we started in August, and little did we know that about 2 months later we would be deciding to move. So October was all about getting our stuff ready and packed and getting our house ready to be put on the market to be sold. So October we got behind. There were a couple weeks where we just couldn't do much of school. Sometimes it was just my son reading. Sometimes it was just, hey, let's work on this worksheet quick, and then that'll be all we can do for today, because we were really working night and day to get our house ready. From the time my husband pretty much accepted the job, we had a month of getting the house ready. From the beginning of November to the beginning of December, our house was on the market, and then we got an offer. And then it was just basically getting all that stuff finalize as to moving and the time frame, and of course praying that the closing of the house that we were going to get and the closing of our house where we were at was going to all go smoothly. So if you've moved, you already know. So it was definitely something that my husband and I had not experienced before. We had moved from an apartment into our home and had been there about 12 years. So we had never been in the process of selling a home. And so there was a lot to it. And so it stretched us. It definitely stretched us. And some of you are probably wondering, well, how did your son react? It was hard at first, leaving our homeschool friends, leaving our co-op that we were in and our church. It's a struggle for any kid, but especially as a teenager when you started to form connections, it's a lot to process. And the fact that my son and I had lived there our whole lives. So I had never moved. I'd moved locally, but I had never moved out of the area, and my son was born and raised there too. So it's an adjustment, but we knew that this was what God had for our family. And there are many, many things I'm not going to get into about why we felt at peace about it, though, in the midst of all of it, just how God helped us along the way and made everything actually work out exactly the way it was supposed to. So we moved into our house the beginning of January, and we've been here a little bit over a month now. It definitely has been an adjustment. We already have a church community down here. Some of you are probably wondering, how's homeschooling going since we moved? Well, we are still homeschooling. We're finishing out 9th grade. We are, like I said, a little bit behind, so we're trying to basically double up. There's some emotional days where it's like you're dealing with homesickness and you're just kind of like down and out, and you have to press through and just do school anyway. Again, God is there for us in all this. So next question is, what about the state we live in? Well, the state that we live in is an extremely easy state when it comes to homeschooling. You're not required in our state to be part of a homeschool association. It's just different because I'm used to having a little bit more of a regiment and a little bit more help through an association. The wonderful thing that God has provided in this move is our church. They have a Christian school there, and they do provide what they call like an enrichment day, life skills, stuff like that, where he can come in and our son can be a part for a day and enjoy non-academic focus, so more of like electives. So we're really excited because he actually just started that. For those of you who have watched my channel for a while, you know that I've had my son in co-ops where I've helped taught. He also went to a prep school where he went once a week for a school year. It's kind of nice to have that break. Hence why I'm doing the video right now, is because he's not home and it's quiet and it helps me catch up on other things, and he's able to get away from me and have a little bit of a break so he can have fun and form new connections, more friends at our church that go to school there as well. And so it's very different. I'm not going to say the transition is always easy. It's a time of growth for our family, and sometimes we have to be put in situations where we are stretched. And we truly, each of us, do have to rely on the Lord. One thing I know that has helped our son is that he has truly sought the Lord as a teenager for his own self in the past year. And I think God was preparing him for this change. And so, we're just taking one day at a time right now. We're just going to focus on finishing 9th grade. And then we'll see what happens into 10th grade. I did get rid of a lot of homeschooling stuff that we didn't need when we moved because I didn't want to take it with us. I might be posting videos on a couple other things that I have here, some other just resources. Some of it might be for even younger age groups. I'm not quite sure yet what that's going to look like. Somehow I realized that I've totally forgot at the beginning of the school year not to post the video for the look inside the Following Narnia with IEW, the structure and style for writing and composition. Writing and composition is one that we're behind in right now, so I'm gonna have to catch up with that. But I did do a look through of that, and I am going to post it at some point. Just know that we've already been kind of going through it. If you stayed this long, I will be doing a video on my end of the year review, but that probably won't be till, I'm thinking, closer to the end of May, just because we are more behind this year than we were last year. at this point in time. Definitely stay tuned for the end of the year review. I might post a video here and there about a couple other things, resources if they come up. So just know that I am still here. We are still homeschooling. We're just taking one day at a time right now, and I have had to throw together a room that is not my normal setup and a little bit different in layout in this room than what I was expecting. There might be some changes in the future to this whole setup as well. Thank you for tuning in today. If you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe and click the bell for notifications so you can get notified when I release my next video. Also, give a like to this video if it's helpful and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you about your moving experiences, just changes in homeschooling life and how y'all got through it. Love to hear from you. Also, I want to give a big thank you to those who purchased on Etsy my biblical word studies that I have out there on my shop. Thank you so much for doing that. I want to let you know that I will be sharing a video about my next unit, which is going to be on the fruits of the Spirit. It's going to be unit 2. I've had a lot of other stuff going on, so I haven't had a chance to finish that unit. I had every intention of finishing it before Christmas, and that didn't happen. Make sure that you follow my shop on Etsy, and that way you can see when I do post those. I'm going to do them individually, and then I'm going to do them as a unit. So you can purchase them. If you prefer to just do 1 or 2, that's fine, or you can do the entire unit for one digital download cost, so it makes it really easy for you, and then you can use it whenever you want. But I will be going through those and kind of showing you, so I'm super excited to kind of give you a glimpse of that here soon in the upcoming weeks. So I'm Kira, and thanks for tuning in today here at Shine Bright Homeschool. I will catch you next time. Until then, shine bright.